Seedoeatreview here. Who's this with me? This is Alex from the latest South Australian film, South Australian cast, South Australian crew, South Australian locations. Movie's called Roadkill, released April 20th, so if I get this up right, I'm going to put it up the day before, so it should be sweet. Alex, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're starring in it?
Yes.
What else did you do in this film, or you just the star?
No, I had my finger in many pies. So I wrote the film, I directed the film, and I did some producing work as well.
Wow, how long have you been in the film game, or are you freshly out of uni doing it?
Well, I started writing this fresh out of high school, towards the end of 2018, but I've been making films for a long time. My dad, who's a producer, I've been doing a lot of work with him as well.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the first big one, the first feature.
Yeah, and where'd the idea come from for this film? Explain it to the people who don't know what it's about, firstly.
Yeah, cool. So, Roadkill follows a thief that gets caught in the crossfires of an ongoing police investigation after he mugs a serial killer. So, it is a pretty niche idea. I'm really proud of it. The idea sort of started, I was doing a road trip with a friend from Adelaide to Melbourne.
Okay, I've done that many times.
Yeah, it's a good trip. A lot of vast isolation out there. A lot of space to think, I guess.
Yep.
And basically we were coming back on the way back and sitting in silence for a while, and we started talking about Australian movies, you know, these horror slasher flicks, these Outback, Wolf Creek, things like that.
It becomes like a genre sort of, didn't
exactly.
it?
It's sort of Ozploitation was the term it later became.
Cool.
And anyway, they're great movies. They're not really my type of movie. I'm not really into the whole horror slasher thing.
It becomes torture porn sort of thing,
exactly.
which I didn't like.
Yeah.
And as I interrupt your explanation, I was just telling Alex off camera, like I've reviewed hundreds, if not thousands of films. The thief hijacking a serial killer after he's caught by the cops. I've never seen or heard anything like it. So I just said, that's brilliant off the start. That captured my attention. Keep going, buddy.
So we were... talked about this for a while, and then you know, this road trips go more silence, more quiet for a while, and this idea just came out of nowhere, looking out on the road, and I just go, it would be really, really easy to steal from someone out here. You just need to get them out of their car, lock it, and take off, and they're hopeless. Anyway, so then these two ideas of this sort of isolated mugging and these slasher killer flicks slowly start sort of blending themselves together, and I go, there might be something there. So we pulled over in the next town, and I grabbed a notebook and I started writing down all these ideas.
What town did you pull over in?
No idea.
I was gonna say, go for it.
And then the ideas sort of developed and snowballed and got to where we are today.
Do you like being in front of the camera or behind the camera?
I like being both. It is a challenge doing both. I knew it would be hard going in. It was way more difficult than I thought it would be.
It always is. As I was just saying to Alex and my brothers, I got an older brother who was into like producing, directing film, but we were just the very basics, running out with a camera, putting special effects and that. And it's like anything you think's easy, like, oh my god, it's so bloody hard. But that's where you learn, isn't it? Really?
And I think with any film set, the big factor is always time and money. So you don't have a lot of time, and when you have to act in a scene, someone yells cut, you have to go back and watch your own performance and make sure it was okay before you can move on, as well as everything else that's going on.
Are you ever satisfied with your performance, or do you need someone else to sort of say, no,
I need someone else. So on this flick, the producer and my father, James Whitrow, was really good at that. We also had an assistant director, Alison Sharper, who is amazingly talented with her acting skills and her direction. So she was really trustworthy that she could just say, no, we're good, let's move on.
Oh, cool.
And I could say, yes, ma'am.
Who'd you get on board to help you budget the film? Who chucked in? Give him a shout out.
So James Whitrow was the sole financier. So we did the initial shoots in late 2019. Then after that, COVID hit. And we had to delay for 6 months, and I ended up actually directing the remaining scenes from Queensland because I wasn't in any of them. I was wrapped.
Really?
So we set up a live feed from the camera and the microphones to my laptop screen in Gold Coast, and I directed over the phone.
Oh, that would have been on edge of your seat. That is frustrating.
It was not great. So after that, I moved back here, and we got a rough cut of the film together. And we were sort of shopping around town, and it took us a few months until we found a guy called Daniel J. Phillips, whose previous film is called Awoken.
Oh, yes.
And he sort of said, you know, there's something there. We can probably dig through all the dirt and find something a little shinier. So we sat down with him with the film. We wrote a transcript of the movie, so not the original script, but a transcript word for word of what's on the screen. Went through the entire thing, and he was brutally honest, which is what you need.
You need it.
Yeah,
it hurts.
Yeah, yeah. But no, he was, this isn't funny. This is a poor performance. Get rid of that. This doesn't make sense. So he basically whipped it into shape.
That's
for
like
us.
my wife when she edits my reviews and brutal.
Yeah, well, you need it, man. Yeah.
We have to take off 5 minutes apart for a little bit. But I know what you mean.
Yeah.
So he put it all together.
Me and James did the editing ourselves, and got some people to fine tune it.
Yep.
And then Dan was the real heavyweight that just came in and said, "This is what the film should be." Yeah.
And music? Where'd the music come from?
Music's a bit of a funny story.
Yes.
So we went through a few musicians, and no one could quite find the right match that we were looking for, the ambience that we wanted. They couldn't.
And you've got to try to get it from your head what you want, and that's one of the hardest parts.
Exactly. And we put together a what's it called? I can't remember. It's like a fake soundtrack. You take music from other movies, play it over the top, and say, this is kind of what we want.
Okay, cool.
And we did that with so many people, and no one could get it right until we actually went online and found this guy based out of the Ukraine.
I'm Ukrainian.
Oh, there you go, yeah. So we got him to score the first trailer for us, and we were pretty happy with that. So we went, look, if you're up to it, we'd like to offer you the big job. Yeah. And he jumped on it.
Awesome.
But being in the Ukraine, kept up in the news recently, there's some tension at the moment. So he was, recording stuff in a bomb shelter at one point and setting up stuff. So it was, there's a very real sense of danger in his music, though. So there's that authenticity to it.
He brings it to it, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
And the cast and the crew, did you just find them around? Did you advertise for them?
So the cast and crew was mostly through social networks. So Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all the good ones.
It's the old school way, isn't it?
It
really?
is,
and I wouldn't say
it?
old school, it's old school, but that's the new old school.
And there's a couple of characters in the film that we really struggled to find the right actors to portray them, so we actually ended up reaching through some old friends in the theatre and found a couple of actors to come in and fill those roles. Yeah.
So right now we're at the Piccadilly Wallace. You've got a few screenings around different Wallace cinemas. How did you get them on board?
Well, Wallace is really, really helpful. They're always supporting local, and that's honestly probably a question for the producer above me. But basically we sort of came up to them and said, look, we made this film, we shot all here, almost entirely SA cast and crew.
That's what got me on board.
And we sat them down and they saw it and they just thought,
that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm giving a shout out to Wallace because I love when they support South Australian cinema. It's also going to be at Marion as well. There's a screening there. I'll put it up into my dates and notes, guys, where you can find all the screenings to come and support it. Anything else that I missed out on, mate? I'm trying to keep it under 10 minutes because I said to Alex, I could talk about films forever, and I'm trying to keep my mouth shut. So anything else? Do we know? We've got the music done, we've got the cast, we've got the crew. We've got James, the producer.
Just about covered it, I guess the locations we filmed in was almost entirely in the Riverland. Apart from some Adelaide stuff.
Around Adelaide City. Tell me where you shot around Adelaide City.
So we did it's a real estate office in Richmond that we filmed about, a fifth of the movie in. And then there was the Gaslight Tavern in Brompton. Up to Murray Bridge at one point, up in Lower Lights. So there's a few little places like that around.
Another reason I come see it, so you can see these and go, I know that place as well.
Right, yeah.
And you've also sold the rights overseas as well?
Yeah, so we have Movie House Entertainment on board as our international sales agent, and they've just closed down a deal with US and UK distribution, which I don't actually know how much I'm allowed to talk about, so I'll stop talking there, but...
we are good. Guys, this is my passion. This is supporting South Australian. You're not going to get any more South Australian than this. Alex is from the Mushroom Shop, so shout out to Beck for putting me in touch with him. Good luck, buddy. I'm looking forward to seeing it in about half an hour or so. We'll see how we go. Alex, thank you very much for your time, buddy. Good luck with it all.
Thanks.